God, where's the ignition?
Impulse engines activated.
Finally!
This is Captain Romeo Bravo of the USS New Orleans.
Punch it!
That's Star Wars.
This is Admiral Bacheyev of the United Federation of Planets, and issue a manhunt advisory.
Why were you unable to deliver the medicinal supplies to Dingus 7?
Oh, no worries, man. I dropped that off hours ago. Left it with the... Gerald said he'd take care of it. What you got for me?
Well, I do have these extra nacelles and warp core amp with 12-inch woofers. Free installation, of course.
What was that?
Rah, Starfleet, this is my dog and you're in my hood.
You have crossed the neutral zone and are entering into the great Romulan star Empire.
Captain Sedgwick, but you aren't a captain, and that shuttlecraft is stolen. Now you are being rightfully pursued and are wreaking havoc along your travels.
You drive a hard bargain, human. We are prepared to pay 12 bars of gold-pressed latinum for rescue.
Enjoy eternal oblivion, little dude.
You are entering into Cardassian Empire space.
Ah, fuck Kim and Chloe.
Sir, the shuttlecraft has just crossed our Imperial borders. Is this guy stupidly insane or insanely stupid?
And stay out.
Whoa!
Lock tractor beam.
Computer? Picard maneuver. Where are you going? What? I thought anything goes here. Prude?
According to Starfleet, you have caused a lot of trouble since you stole our medicine and left entire families to die a year ago.
I'm gonna kill that Vulcan, even if he's already dead. That can't be good.
What's an asshole?
And that's the whole story. Look, I'll cut to the chase. I want a cloak for my shuttle, and for you guys to back me up against the Admiral. What do you say?
I say no.
Look, then get over for a minute and hit me back. I need to make some calls to the Ferengi and a Cardassian named Elam. And until they get back to me, I present to Noah in the next episode, Skin of Evil. We start with Picard, dropping his log. They are in the Zed Lapis sector to rendezvous with a shuttlecraft carrying Troy, who's been away at a conference. That explains why she's never around. Engineering is cleaning their dilithium crystals, so they're cruising on impulse power, which is more like a traditional nuclear reactor than the antimatter warp core, and speaking from experience, is immeasurably slower. So it's odd when Worf says there's no vessels around for 3 light years. Worf also mentions a martial arts competition to Yar, and they spend a good amount of time attaching us to and humanizing Yar over it. Geordi says Troy is over an hour out, and Riker seems really happy to have her back. Wonder why. But there's a problem with the shuttle, and it's drifting toward a planet called Vagra 2. Picard has the engineer rush to get the warp core back online, but it's too late, and the shuttle crashes onto the planet. Well, time to update Indeed for a new counselor. Epic titles. When we come back, the chief engineer of the week has got warp drive back, and the crew make way for the crash site. They can see their life signs, but Data says, oh, look at that. Can't beam them up. I guess we don't get out of this episode easy, Skip. Riker, Data, Yar, and Crusher beam down and immediately find the shuttle debris and a puddle of tar. They try to walk around it, but it follows and blocks them. They try the other way, to the same effect, and Riker tells Picard they're blocked. But it's a puddle. Just step over it or jump real fast. Did you guys have childhoods, or did they just shove you in the academy after birth? Crusher even wants to step over it, but Riker just holds her back for some reason. Which is always the best way a writer can advance his plot, with the phrase, for some reason. The tar speaks, calling Data Tin Man, and starts rising into a humanoidish tar monster-like state. But I'm more blown away he's seen The Wizard of Oz. The tar is named Armus, and he looks like they tarred a guy in the K9 assault training suit and just forgot to get the feathers. Hazing is real, you guys, and it's not cool. Armus says, I don't like you. Leave. And Yar says, not without our people, and tries to walk toward the shuttle. Armus hits her with a light blast or something. I don't know, but it flings her in slow-mo across the set and almost into some papier-mâché rocks. Look out. Riker and Data phaser Armus, who feeds on the energy. I don't know what Armus did with that low-rent Kamehameha, but Yar is dead. Proving my point 23 episodes in and not even one whole season that this girl was the wrong choice for a security chief. She was literally killed when a pile of oil swatted air at her. And because once again, in her brash, brazen ways, she completely ignored a threat without any thought or analysis. I'm sorry, but she truly was, as she was written for these episodes, a useless-ass character. The odd makeup spot on her cheek is beyond silly also. So many elements of her death are so ridiculous that now I can't take the dramatic scene in sickbay seriously. All the king's horses and all their magic meds couldn't put Tasha together again. She's dead, Jean. And she was going to be in that martial arts tourney. Anywho, back on the planet, the shuttle crew is coming too. But Armis has covered the outer hull and is talking to Troy, trying to provoke her by rubbing in that he killed Yar for literally no reason but to watch her suffer. Back up in the observation lounge, Worf has been promoted. So all's well that ends well. Riker, Data, Crusher, and Geordi then beam back down for round 2 against the sludge in my lungs. But Troy's the one burning his ass by saying, "Yeah, they came back for me, unlike the people who abandoned you."
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
Angered, the energy field Armis produces weakens momentarily, and he leaves the shuttle to confront the away team. He acts like a lonely child, being petulant, throwing tantrums, demanding concessions for favors, then changing his mind. He even bullies the crew by taking their instruments, including Geordi's visor, and not allowing anyone to help him get it back. But Armis is empty, and none of his attempts to exert sadistic power are bringing him any joy or amusement. Then he tells Troy that the people he came from found a way to expel all of their negative aspects into a literal dank, vile second skin. Armis, which they promptly abandoned. I'm sorry, what? Troy pities Armis, but this enrages him further, and he drags Riker into himself, threatening to kill him if anyone intervenes or leaves, and then creeps us out with the floating face bit. Alright, subspace message sent. Let's see if they show. At least the Klingons are still thinking about it. That's a good sign. Let's finish this episode and see what they have to say. When we come back, Worf notices the energy drops when Armis covers the shuttle, and Picard magically knows it's Troy, and beams down. Troy sobs for a while and begs for Riker. It's pretty cringe. Armis then takes over Data, and has him systematically point his phaser at the crew until Armis is bored again. Picard threatens to just leave, so Armis releases Riker to keep the games going. Picard has the away team beamed away, and stays to deal with Armis, who says he wants to leave. Picard wants to see the shuttle crew, and Armis asks if Picard will give him transport. To which Picard replies only that he has the means. That's some political bullshit manipulation right there. Armis transports Picard into the shuttle, and Picard asks Troy why Armis drops his field when with her, and she explains his rage is his vulnerability. So Worf and Wesley prepare to beam everyone back when Picard provokes Armis again, which Picard does by rubbing in that Armis will be left there alone, forever, with nothing but his hate. They beam the crew up, and Picard flips Armis the bird, before beaming away himself. They then destroy the shuttle from space and mark the planet off limits, before heading to the Windows XP wallpaper and holding a funeral for Tasha. But only the main cast. Jesus, did she not have friends? It looks like Picard just ordered the bridge crew to show up. Where's the guy she was going to spar with? Her old security drones. And where did the sky go once we were inside the holodeck? Y'all forgot to comp out the blue screen again. Picard gives his eulogy. The audience has been warned that anyone can die at any time, but probably won't again. And we move forward in the spirit of optimism. Oh, and a hollow Yar appears over the grave to say goodbye in a pre-recorded message. I'm sure all of this was meant to be way more heartfelt and a lot less camp, but she died for no reason, by a puddle, and was never a well-written character. I bet Data's gonna miss tapping that, though. They did composite clouds behind Yar to show that she's see-through, but it just makes it stand out every time we cut to the crew weeping. She also looks at the crew when talking to them specifically, and being that this is a recording, I just wonder how she knew where they'd be standing. She says Data's like a child, and Picard is like her father. And that's creepy because she banged the first one and hit on the other one in a penalty box. Can we stop pretending this character was good and her death is sad? I bet 30 bars of gold press latinum that the show only gets better from here. Roll credits. This episode was terrible, Cheesy schlockfest of bad, and it's not even so bad it's good. Just terrible. But hey. Goodbye, yar. 5 stars. Real time. Skin of Evil, originally airing on April 25th, 1988, is best known for the sudden death of Lieutenant Natasha Yar, one of the main characters in the series, and it marked a turning point both in the storyline and in the development of the Next Generation's cast and crew. Thematically, the episode explores the nature of evil, loss, and emotional trauma. Armis is an entity created from the discarded negative emotions of an alien race, symbolizing the destructive potential of unchecked malice. Tasha's death, which was sudden and lacked the heroism one might expect from a Starfleet officer, was meant to underscore the unpredictable nature of life and death. The episode also deals with grief, as the crew has to process Tasha's death and move forward in their mission. Yar's death in the episode was written after Denise Crosby had asked to be let out of her contract. She later described her time spent on the show as miserable and had been dissatisfied with the direction of her character, feeling that Tasha was underutilized and lacked meaningful development. Despite initially being one of the few senior female officers on the show, Tasha was often relegated to minor roles or sidelined in key moments. And I completely agree with her. Poor girl never had a good turn. She later expressed some regret about leaving, but also appreciation for how the franchise allowed her to return in different and better ways. Armis, the villain of the episode, posed a unique challenge for the production team. The creature was envisioned as a sentient, malevolent entity composed of a viscous, oily substance. The design of Armis was the work of makeup and effects artist Michael Westmore, who had the difficult task of bringing this unusual creature to life on screen. The practical effects involved creating a black, tar-like pool that Armis would emerge from and interact with. The suit worn by actor Mark McChesney, who portrayed Armis physically, was made of latex and covered in a shiny, gooey substance to give it the appearance of being an oil-like liquid. The suit was notoriously uncomfortable for McChesney, who had to spend long hours inside it. The production team also used a combination of puppetry and camera tricks to make Armis more menacing, but the limitations of 1980s television technology made some of the effects look somewhat dated by today's standards. Actor Ron Gans provided the voice for Armis, giving the creature its deep, menacing tone. One of the major challenges of filming Skin of Evil was creating the barren, alien landscape of Vegra 2. The planet's surface was created on a soundstage with minimalistic design. The black pool where Armis emerged from was constructed from black plastic and filled with a gelatinous substance to make it appear fluid. Tasha's death had a profound impact on both the characters and the cast. Patrick Stewart later remarked that Denise Crosby's departure was a difficult moment for the cast, as they had all grown close during the first season. The funeral scene for Tasha Yar, where a holographic version of Tasha delivers a farewell message to her friends, was particularly emotional for the cast to film, and they had to film it twice. Also, tidbit, while filming that scene, Patrick Stewart ran up on the fake hill first and spun around singing The Hills Were Alive with the sound of music. Fact. Marina Sirtis and Michael Dorn also later discussed how Tasha's death served as a turning point for the show. Sirtis' character Troy played a more significant role with the void left, while Dorn's character Worf would assume Tasha's role as the chief of security on the Enterprise. Upon release, the episode received poor reactions from critics and fans. Many were shocked by Tasha Yar's death, which broke with tradition by eliminating a main character so abruptly. Others felt that Armis was not even a particularly compelling villain, and that the episode's pacing was at best uneven. However, in hindsight, Tasha's death added weight to the show's storytelling, proving that the series was willing to take risks. Crosby's departure also had lasting effects on the universe, as her character would return in future episodes, most notably in the alternate timeline episode, Yesterday's Enterprise, and as her half-Romulan daughter, Sela, in later seasons. Skin of Evil remains one of the most significant episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation's first season, marking both the end of Tasha Yar's journey and the beginning of new dynamics within the Enterprise crew. Come on, guys.
If we backed you in battle against a Federation starship in the Terran sector, we'd be banished to Rurapinth. If we were lucky. It would shred our treaty.
I get it. Can I at least buy a cloak?
Bro, honestly, ours kinda suck. Outdated Patak. You said you get along with the Romulans?
Last time I ran into them, they extorted me and threatened my shuttle. And I blew them up. But it was an accident.
How have you survived this long?
Looks like they are my best shot, though. I hope the enemy of my enemy will be my friend.
Doc, before you go, we gotta do something about that hair.